Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. For those who have been following this channel for a while, you would know that I'm quite a big supporter of William Zepeda, the Mexican lightweight who has amassed a record of 32-0, yet to fight for a world title. Ultimately, I find his style appealing, fun to watch. He's an exciting fighter. Yes, he has flaws, but he brings attributes that are unique. Crazy punch output, good combination, big strong lightweight, fights out of a southpaw stance as well. You know, he has one of the most, if not the most impressive gas tank at lightweight right now. And, you know, I've been following his career now for 4-5 years maybe. And I've always been somewhat high on William Zepeda, but, you know, he's fighting this weekend against Tevin in a rematch for the WBC interim lightweight title. Now, he fought Tevin back in November of 2024 in Saudi Arabia, and in that fight, Zepeda actually got dropped by Tevin, who's not a notable puncher. He wasn't hurt or anything, it was kind of like a flash knockdown, but still, you know, maybe worrying signs there. And overall, the fight was very competitive. Now, I don't think Farmer won. I felt he was thoroughly outlanded in the majority of rounds. But Farmer did better than a lot of people were expecting, including myself. And I was actually quite impressed with Farmer in that fight, to tell you the truth. I was impressed with his performance. In fact, it's funny because Farmer lost his last fight prior to Zepeda as well, against Raymond Muratalla. And in that fight, again, despite him losing, I was impressed with his efforts. You know, it's almost like he's adopting more of a boxer-puncher role now. He is sitting down on his punches a lot more than he did in his physical prime. And to a degree, he looks better in my opinion. His punch technique is certainly better than it was when he was a champion. So I do think Tevin has been improving in some aspects, I really do. But having said all that, I still expected Zepeda to do a much better job first time around. Now, he's got the opportunity here second time around. Fight takes place in Cancun, 29th of March. This time it's a 12-rounder and not a 10-rounder. I think that favours Zepeda. Despite Zepeda throwing a lot of punches, he's shown in his career he can go 12 rounds. Look at the Joseph Diaz fight a couple of years ago. Maintained a crazy punch output throughout that fight. In fact, I think he set a record for lightweight, most punches thrown. So I think this fight being a 12-rounder and not a 10-rounder this time around really does favour Zepeda. In the first fight, I felt that at times Tevin he needed a breather because of the pressure that Zepeda was putting on him. The body work as well, which was very successful for Zepeda first time around. I felt the 10 rounds last time favoured Farmer, but I do believe the 12 rounds favour Zepeda. Also, of course, this fight is hometown advantage, takes place in Mexico. So Tevin has it all against him here. Ultimately, I think he needs to do what he did first time around, which was hold his feet more and punch with William Zepeda, and he needs to pray that he lands a perfect punch. And he needs to pray that he can hurt Zepeda and maybe even stop him. Because he's not going to outwork Zepeda. He's not. It's just not possible. And yeah, he may be able to outbox Zepeda for a couple of rounds, but I don't think he can maintain that over 12. He couldn't maintain it over 10. You know? So for me, Farmer needs to try to basically stop Zepeda, and the way he's been fighting in his last couple of fights, I'm assuming that's how he's going to go about his business, because again, Farmer has been sitting down on his punches a lot more in the last couple of fights, and I think he should continue that in this fight. I honestly think it's his only chance here. You know, he needs to stop Zepeda, or at least drop him maybe multiple times. And I do think that Farmer should try to ask questions of that chin of Zepeda's, because, you know, Zepeda, you know, getting dropped by Farmer maybe is a red flag, But you look at his career, and while I've been impressed with him, as I've mentioned on this channel, he hasn't really fought a puncher yet, and maybe there's a reason behind that. So if I'm Farmer, I'm trying to test that chin early. I'm trying to land some big shots early. Yeah, Farmer's not a big puncher, but he does have speed, and he does seem to be hitting harder now. So, yeah, Farmer needs to play a boxer-puncher role here. Of course, be elusive when you have to be elusive, but he can't win the fight that way, in my opinion. As for Zepeda, I want to see a more switched-on performance. I felt maybe first time around he possibly took Tevin Farmer lightly. I don't think he fully respected Farmer. I think he saw the record. I think he saw the fact that Farmer's been beaten by the better guys he's fought. I mean, even a guy like Jojo Diaz who beat Farmer, Zepeda dog-walked basically. So I do think first time around, Zepeda was a little complacent. But that first fight was a big blow to Zepeda's reputation as being arguably the most dangerous fighter outside the champions at 135. So he needs to rebound here. He needs to be switched on, more defensively alert, better guard, and I think he needs to stop Farmer here to try to regain some of that hype. But you know, Zepeda, again, I've followed his career for a while. He is kind of susceptible to these kind of performances. Of course, Rene Alvarado was one. You know, a year prior, he looked great against Hector Tanahara, who was a unbeaten prospect. But in the Rene Alvarado fight, he kind of looked a bit workmanlike, a little bit like he couldn't get out of second gear. And we saw that again with Tevin Farmer. So, listen, I want to see Zepeda get back on the horse, so to speak, and show that kind of pipe-busting pressure, you know, that he showed against Giovanni Cabrera, that he showed against Maxi Hughes, against Masito Hester, against Jojo Diaz. You know, this is the type of performance I want to see from Zepeda, because when he's in that form, I do think he's going to be difficult for anybody at lightweight. I still believe that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to seeing whether Zepeda can adjust and go in there maybe with a better mindset, maybe do a better job. But I'm also kind of intrigued to see whether Farmer can replicate what he did first time around and actually give Zepeda trouble. And hopefully, providing Zepeda wins, which I'm pretty sure he will do, it's got to the point now where I am getting a little bored of waiting for this guy to fight an elite guy, to fight for a world title. He's the interim champion right now within the WBC. Should he win this fight, he goes 33-0. You know, 28 years old. I'm kind of getting bored of waiting for this guy to fight for a world title. Should he win this fight, I want to see him in there with, well, anyone at lightweight who's a champion. Shakur Stevenson, that fight would be makeable because both guys have fought on Riyadh season. I'd love to see a Lomachenko fight. You know, these are the sort of fights I want to see from William Zepeda. But, you know, he needs to do a job against Tevin Farmer, so we'll see whether he can do that. I think he will, personally. I do think he'll take care of Farmer and possibly stop him. I think he'll definitely stop him, actually. I think he'll stop Farmer. But yeah, he needs to look good doing it. Anyway, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Del Boy. Peace.